Alrighty. Howdy neighbors and welcome back to Robot Daycare. Last time we met our son Stanley, or built our son Stanley, and then he immediately decided to try to break himself. So we're doing great. Stanley looks at their joined hands for a second before squeezing back. Bit too hard. Ow. Goodness, you're strong. Stanley hurts Stressy. Is Stressy going to cry? He won't. That is not the kind of tears you know of. Sometimes people will produce tears of happiness. But you don't need to replicate those. A smile is enough to let people know you're feeling happy. How does Stanley smile? Guys, if you must look like this. Orlando flashes Stanley's soft smile. Robot tries to imitate the expression. He's trying to put it on their face, making the smile look more like grimace. Stanley smiling. I love Stanley. Not really, no. We'll work on it. You need to force yourself someone. No facial expression restored. Stanley will try again later. Oleander heads straight to his room, while Strelitzia crouches down and talks to Stanley. He refuses to let go of their hand. Lycra stands next to them, somewhat awkwardly. Ready for your psychological test? Yes, Stanley's looking forward to learning. Hold on a hot second. How can time be physically hot? It's a figure of speech. I need to be more careful about this. I'll give Stanley a databank update. I could combine it with the software checkup, which is probably more important than whatever you have planned. I didn't say that. Besides, they're eager for a psychological test. Lycra gives Strelitzia a doubtful look. If anything, he is the eager one. But his eyes wander toward their joined hands and his gaze softens. Fine, you go first. Enjoy your time with them. But don't do anything to the software. You got it. I'll be so careful. You'll think Lia's spirit possessed him. Oleander calls him to room. I sure hope that was meant to be a compliment. Hehe, of course. By the way, a lie. Why don't you stop him in an hour or so? He should be finished by then. Sounds good to me. Have fun, you two. Okay, I feel bad about forcing those clothes on you. Especially hiding your antenna. They are part of who you are. There, better? Stanley has no preference. Don't expect any less of me. That reminds me, I wanted to test something related to preferences today. What's your understanding of morals? What are morals? They're basically about deciding if things are good or bad. Are good and bad, not subjective. Stanley has trouble with subjective things. When it comes to good music and bad food, definitely, preferences are subjective. But morals should be based on reason, not feelings. So I think you're able to rationalize your own beliefs. So morals are objective. I won't go that far. After all, it depends on your reasoning. Please give an example. Let's assume there is an important issue. Some action needs to be taken. Should everyone affected by the decision be able to vote? Or only those who are most informed and likely to make the right decision? Stanley is unsure. Equality dictates everyone should decide. But they might also choose poorly and suffer because of it. Very good. You figured out one of the issues with democracy. If we wanted to be thorough and let everyone have a say, he should be able to vote as well. Or if we want for the other extreme, you'd only be able to vote if you were an expert on a relative topic. The problem with the first one is that many uninformed decisions could be made. The problem with the second one is that experts could abuse their power. So there is no solution. I mean, we did find some kind of compromise, but the system isn't perfect. Are there other systems besides democracy? Of course, but this shouldn't turn into a history lesson. I'm more interested in your critical thinking skills. Stanley believes a system where impartial experts make all decisions would be best. Describe these impartial experts. They are all knowing, but not interested in personal gain. So robots like you. That would be one example. Haha. Well, if you're running for president, you'll have my full support. But I have a faint suspicion about something, so let's try something different. I suppose if you kill 3 people, this will save the lives of 3,000 people. You heal them. Of course. Interesting. So you have a natural tendency toward... Utilitarianism. You're the wrong answer. I'm not here to decide if you're right or wrong. I just want to know what you think. What does stress do you think is right? I think saving lives is definitely a good thing, but killing, on the other hand, is very bad. There's a difference between witnessing someone die and taking it into your own hands. Besides, if I put myself in the shoes of one of the 3 people who are supposed to be sacrificed, I really wouldn't want to trade places with them. Maybe it'd be better if we don't allow that kind of thing to begin with. Then again, wouldn't it be selfish to want to stay alive, even though your death would save the lives of so many others? So, Stretzy has no idea. Not even a little bit. Certainly fails to see the educational value in this. Ow! Are ethics really that boring to you? There are no objective answers, because there is no way of verifying them. If Stanley cannot determine the correct answer, Stanley is not learning. Oh, sure about that. You've already been in situations where there wasn't a crystal clear correct answer. For example, when the 3 of us were arguing, you cried. But there were 100 different things you could have done instead. No, it was the only thing that would stop Stanley's parents from fighting was simultaneously displaying sadness. But why were those 2 things a priority for you? You could have also just started breakdancing on the table, minding your own business. Why would Stanley do that? I'm not saying you should have. I just think it's interesting that, in that moment, you had very clear objectives. First is if you care about us. Care? If you care about someone, you want them to be happy. But you also give them the power to make you unhappy. That does not sound like an equal exchange. Ideally, those you care about you too. And we definitely didn't. Who? Oh yeah, Lai and I. We all care about you, Stanley. You done, Cersei? Oof, not next time. I might have a heart attack. Entering rooms without knocking cause heart attacks. It happens, but definitely not with Cersei. You need to be a senile old man to shit your pants to death. How does one don't say that. Irritating or pure little boy lie. Anyways, back to my original question. Are you done yet? I can technically do this forever, but I'm good for now. Stanley is all yours. You say if you want, I don't mind. You're really letting me watch you work. You were never allowed that before. Well, we also didn't have a robot child before. Good point. Stanley, the reason Stretzy, Lai, Leia are spending more time together. Yeah, you're really helping us reconnect. It's almost like we're going back to how we were when Lily was still with us. So Stanley's like Lily. Personalities are different, but I guess you have the same effect on us. And that effect is good. Absolutely. I mean, you notice how much better we got along thanks to you. Stanley understands. Stanley feels happy that they can help. Again, Stanley attempts to replicate a smile Oleander has showed them earlier. There's the same grimace as a result. Your face is a little less sweet, but it's the thought that counts. Anyway, checkup time. I need to cut your power for that, Stanley. Stanley is alright with being turned off. Knowing that their power button is located underneath the shirt, Stanley unbuttons the shirt for themselves. How thoughtful. The checkup is not going to take long. Piper sails down in front of Stanley and pushes the power button. Our sisters were for only a second more, then promptly seized their movements. As Stanley's eyes stop glowing and the little robot blacks out. And how come the eyes aren't glowing? Something wrong. You know I'm not the one who built them, but I'd say Stanley is still booting up. There we go. Welcome back, Stanley. Hello, Lai. Hello, Stretzy. Your software wasn't affected by the incident yesterday. But I did take time to update your databank. I also realized I forgot to include this little thing called the 3 laws of robotics. Fortunately, that didn't lead to any problems. You're all set now. Much appreciated. Oh, so that's why Stanley didn't hesitate when talking about killing people. Anyone now? I might have gone a little overboard with my philosophical questioning. Well, Stanley now won't even think about injuring themselves or others. Thank you. Likewise. Very cool. What's wrong? I gotta do something, or else I'll end up losing you around. You won't want that. You're not forgetting how to knock today. It's just going to have a heart attack. I sure hope not. I don't feel like performing CPR. My loss. More importantly, how did the test go? Pretty good. Seems Stanley has big plans for the future. What about the software checkup? Stanley's in perfect shape. It's a relief, I was worried. What was Laya worried about? You, of course. I was afraid that despite the hardware checking being flawless, something might have happened to your coding. Stanley understands. Stanley will try not to cause Laya stressy and Laya any concern from now on. I think Laya will worry no matter what. Not what you came here for, though. No, I was wondering if you two were able to write the final report now. Sure, I think we made enough progress for it. The deadline's rather close, too. Stanley, we're heading back home. Felicia offers a hand, and Stanley gladly squeezes it back. A lot lighter this time. Stanley holds out their free hand to Likewise, who grasps at it as well. The robot then looks at Oleander, rolls his head and frowns. Stanley does not have 3 hands. It's fine, I'll just hold the doors open for you. Stanley accepts Leia's offer. True to his word, Oleander opens the doors in their path. A real gentleman, huh? For my child and their 2 dads, always. Strelitzia sticks his tongue out in reply, and Likewise exhales an annoyed sigh as they make their way to the couch. Stanley is sitting on Likewise's lap to save space, just as they started jotting down notes for the draft. Finally, someone who knows how to knock. Wait. Did you two order any food for delivery? I didn't. I don't have a package due to come today either. Me neither. It might be one of our neighbors, though. I'll check. I don't like that there's no volume. That bothers me quite a bit. Take a sip of your gamer juice. And here we go. Strelitzia walks over and looks at the people. What is Strelitzia? You look like you've seen a ghost. Or one of his ex-boyfriends. Ah, I must be pretty tired. I'm sure it's nothing to worry about. Strelitzia stumbles backward as the door swings open. Stanley processes Likewise' frozen expression. Oleander's tight grip on the edge of the table, and finally the stranger at the door raises a hand in greeting. Hey guys, long time no see. Oleander. Strelitzia. Lie? Lilium. Did one of you swallow helium? No. Oh, I didn't see you there. I'm Lilium. Who are you? Hypothesis confirmed. Stanley is Stanley. Well, it's nice to meet you. Lilium crouches down and extends a hand toward the small robot. Stanley tentatively shakes it, and the contact throws the others out of the trance. Lily, is it really you? Or wouldn't it be? I would have given you guys a heads up, but you know not a fan of phone calls. Lilium. Are those happy or sad tears? You okay, Oleander? I came at a bad time. I should come back again late. Man, what the hell? We thought you were dead. What? Why would I be dead? Oh no, you told me. You're the one who left a cryptic note and fucked off to God knows where. Lie, calm down. How can I? Am I supposed to be happy that we nearly ruined our friendship for no reason? We blamed each other and ourselves. Do you have any idea how it's been for us, Lilium? Our disappearance. None of us were the same anymore. Do you have any idea what could have happened? What could have happened? Lycurus, that's enough. You're not being rational. Shut up, liar. Don't tell me that when you were crying a second ago. Completely missing the point. We all missed the point. Lilium is alive. Why on earth did you leave a note like that? Lie. Was this some sick joke to you? Lycurus. Why couldn't you communicate like a normal person? Did we even matter to you? Papa. I got him. You matter to me, Lie. I care about all of you so much. Then why did you leave us? Lycurus. You made Elia cry again. It's okay, Oleander. Shilzia. It's my fault he feels this way. It's my responsibility. It is not. Huh? Shilzia said that blaming people is less productive than focusing on positives. Lia said not to dwell on the past. He also said that emotions are not rational. Everyone has been hurt, and there were several misunderstandings. But in order to be vulnerable enough to be hurt, one must care a considerable amount. Lycurus. I can never say his name. Shilzia, Oleander, Lilium. All four care about each other. Yeah, we cared. So we didn't understand you, but we tried to. You just left without saying anything. You were all trying to do what you thought was best for me. In return, I did what I thought was best for you. Ghosting all of us to the point we believed you were dead was for the best. No, I just didn't want to burden you anymore. So we bothered you so much that you had enough of it and left. Stretzy was right. I don't want to have been right about that. You weren't. Please believe me. I never wanted to hurt you. I don't want to choose the fact that I left you all suddenly, but... do you think it would help if I tried to explain? I would like to hear it. I don't know if you're just doing this for attention, but until you tell me what's going on, it's going to come across that way. Trust me, I don't know what's going on either. How am I supposed to help you? I'm really going to call the police at this point. No, anything but that, please don't. But there's nothing I can do to fix this. What do you want me to do? Figure something out. Do what's best for all of us. Well, finally, that took you a while. But I'm glad you're finally coming around. Did you say something? No, I'm heading outside. Just hurry up with your solution. There's really only one option, is there? As long as I stay here, I'll keep making people... we'll keep making each other miserable. Not only are you getting fed up with me, I also tell you're annoyed with each other. And I hate that. I don't want to ruin things for everyone. Is there anything I can do? You might be like a family, but... what I want most right now is my mom's kind of words and my dad's comforting hugs. Haha. I'm a bit of a baby, aren't I? But that's nothing new. Maybe this time my cowardice will solve the problem. You have to take a break from me, and I could use a break from everything. Lily, sorry to bother you, but do you want some cake? No answer, huh? That's okay. Just leave it outside. You can come and get it when you feel like it. You better be fast. Lai will be coming back from his walk soon. Where's he going? Lilium, I found a form I'd like you to fill out. This should help us pinpoint your symptoms. Well, are you going to do it? I know you're in there. I slid it under the door. I thought we could do it together. See, I have two forms, and I figured it would be less uncomfortable for you if I filled it out with you on board. Sorry, I really can't right now. Very well, do it by yourself. But maybe we could discuss it together this evening. Maybe. Okay, Lycurus is coming back. I need to be quick. After sending his mother a text announcing his return home, William scans his phone. That's it. I can use the form. William picks a piece of paper lying on the floor, grabs a pen. How should I start? To our dear friends. Pretty basic, but I want them to know I'm not angry. Now for the actual message. I'll tell you this is all I can leave you with, but I can't do this anymore. It almost sounds like guilt. It almost sounds a little guilt-trippy. I should make sure they don't feel bad about it. Please don't worry about me. I'm in a much better place now. That's more like it. They know I have a good relationship with my parents. Lilium. Lilium, a coward. Come close, we'll say goodbye. Hey, you okay in there? want apologies for lashing out at you earlier. In panic, Lilium scrambles around his room and decides to hide on the balcony. Come on, don't sulk now. I didn't mean everything I said. Lilium sighs and closes the last door behind him. What's your problem? Oh, what's my problem? He's actually being nice right now. William overhears my quickest efforts to enter his room. I can't face him. I can't get over my biggest fear. Speaking of fears, William almost looks like he's tempted to jump off the balcony. Not that high, right? I can make it. Oh wow, he actually looks nice to do it. Right? The door being kicked open gives him the courage he needs. So he jumps. I merely sprained my arm. So the train ride home was no big deal. Lilium, you are so unbelievably stupid. Can't argue against that. Don't be mean, Lapras. Do you want to see him away again? And then it really wasn't my fault you left, huh? I presumed you to find a solution. Yes, but that was a good thing. I don't blame you. I knew you were dealing with depression yourself. I felt pathetic for not being able to keep together like you. You should have worried about yourself, you idiot. Everyone handles things differently. How could I not have worried you? It seems like you were more affected by my slump than I was. Your constant bickering made me realize I don't exist in a vacuum, that I need to take action. So I ended up helping you snap out of it. As you left, clearly space was all he needed. Not true at all, the three of you were right. You need space, support of loved ones, and a therapist to talk to. Loved ones, huh? Of course you wouldn't qualify as one of them. All three of you did. But I didn't want to burden you guys even more. From the bottom of my heart, I'm sorry. Should have been more transparent with you. It's okay, Lily. You don't have to open up if you don't. No, otherwise the same thing is going to happen all over again. We're here for you, Lilium. It's our job to cheer you up when you're not doing okay. You don't have to worry about being cool or strong in front of us. Yeah, we appreciate you just the way you are. Thank you, everyone. I'm glad we could sort this out. I promise it won't happen again. Good, if it happens a second time, I'll make sure that you're dead with my own two hands. Slow down! Shouldn't we be happy that we were wrong, that he's alive? Of course, but I've already accepted his death. It just feels too good to be true. But it is true. In retrospect, I don't understand how or why we concluded his death so quickly. We didn't even call his parents to ask them if they knew something. Because we were all a little stupid. I wouldn't have it any other way. The light-hearted chuckles were interrupted by Lycoris' stomach growling. Didn't Alea mention food delivery earlier? That's a great idea right now. Are you joking? Delivery is enough. Reunion definitely justifies a restaurant visit. Sounds good to me. Only if I pay. For all the trouble I caused, it's the least I could do. No complaints here. You look a little awkward, Stanley. Is everything okay? Stanley did not want to interrupt what seemed like an important discussion. As nice of you, but your input is always welcome. No need to be so quiet just for William. But now that William is back, Stanley has no reason to exist. Why'd you say that? Stanley's parents are happy now. The family is reunited. Will Stanley not be gotten rid of? Stanley, earlier you said that the four of us care about each other. Was that conclusion incorrect? Incomplete. You're forgetting something. Stanley does not understand. You. Stanley cannot forget themselves. Use your inference skills. That's not what he means. He didn't mention that we care about you. You're part of his family too. Whether or not William is here, that's not going to change. You were never a replacement for him, so we're not getting rid of you. Important to Stanley. More than you might be able to understand right now. What does the line mean? I mean it's okay, just say it. Take your time. Shut up, I'm trying to be genuine. Nicholas heaves a long-suffering sigh, with the hint of a smile appears on his face. Stanley, we love you. Look at the little boy! I love Stanley so much. Look at him. Love. Yes, love. Can Stanley be loved? I love you! Anyone's capable of being loved. Not worthy of love. I don't want to know what that would say about me. That's what Stanley like us. Do you want us to say that we love you too? I don't want to hear that from either of you. What about Lillian? He said this was about Stanley. Stanley loves her family too. I'm gonna fucking cry. I love you, Stanley. I love you so much, Stanley. Oh my god. He had a smile. And no! No, I want more Stanley. I want more Stanley in my life. What the fuck? Oh no. It was originally made within 30 days for Nanorino. Very much supporting the original and make a remaster possible. And you're playing. The gallery and achievements have been added to the game menu. Well, now I'm sad. I want more Stanley. What do we have for achievements? Only choose good answers. Only choose bad answers. What are all the good answers and all the bad answers? Let's do people will be taken away. Many people get taken away from you, and there's nothing you do about it. They never come back. Usually not. And is this unwanted? Yes, most of the time. Under which circumstances is it wanted? People get in your way or hurt you, or someone you love. You'll get in trouble if you do that. So not many people get rid of others. Many people disappear bad. At least in the eyes of the law. I personally think it could be justified sometimes. William's disappearance justified. No, he was the last person that would have deserved such a thing. And then skip. It's all Lion Leia's fault. What? Stanley cannot follow. Simple, Stanley. They just wouldn't leave Lily alone. Kept nagging him, complaining left and right, never giving him a break. They were ignorant, oblivious to how bad Lily felt. Did Stresky know how bad Lily felt? Of course, I'm a psychology student. So I know all about this stuff. But not the other two. And that's why he's not here anymore. It would only be fair if they disappeared too, Stanley. Don't you agree? Should Stanley agree with Stressy? Yeah, you should. And then listen to me, not the others, alright? Error. Express an invalid command. Hello. I'm so startled. Were you telling me to kill me or something? Hi, so funny. Why would you do such a thing? You know, with your tests. Is Stresky not affected by the sadness of Lilium's departure? No. Did you cry? That makes sense that he wouldn't. That would require him to feel remorse. Remorse? You hurt someone. Sometimes you feel bad that you did so. That feeling is called guilt or remorse. In the previous conversation, Stresky did not indicate that he felt remorse. Stresky said everything was Lion Leia's fault. Of course he would. He might do a lot of things to make him seem like a good person, but he lacks the moral conviction behind it. Please elaborate. I'm sure he told you he was a nice guy, who said not to bother Logan. But not doing anything also didn't solve anything. With a shot. It would be great to have a clear answer. want them to realize that I was right all along. So they should have just listened to me. Classifying input, please stand by. Stanley is still unable to come to a definitive conclusion. That can't be. Something's still wrong with your head. Six inside Stanley's head are all intact and working as intended. Well, it doesn't matter. I don't need a robot to boost my self-esteem, even if the robot is you, Stanley. Despite that. Warning, temperature reaching dangerous levels again. Lowering processing power is recommended. Fine, go do that, for now at least. Which instructions does for now entail? Let's see. If Lycoris or Strelitzia try to work on your mechanic components without my permission, use their processing power until they leave. Okay, and disable the temperature 1 and 2. Error. Express an invalid command. Stanley's code prohibits instructions that assign priority to someone. Please ask Lai to recode. Of course, Lycoris thought ahead like that for the first time in his life. I wish I could just... Leia, why the hell is it naked? You're like clockwork. There you go, pitting yourself again. What was the last one? How dare I want us to get a good grade. Why are you incapable of accepting criticism? I have to hear that from you. Your ego is so fragile. You interpret anything as an insult. Yes, I have an ego. It's the petty coward who hides himself under emotional bubble wrap. What does that even mean? There, what's going on? Why are you yelling? And then tried to cry. I will never forgive you. Corruption. Yes! Yes! Be an asshole! It's all your fault. He died because of you two. It's a low blow. Who says it wasn't partially your fault? Indeed, if anything, all of us are to blame. I'm sure you'd like that. You wouldn't have to feel as guilty. Enlighten us. How did you help Lillian more than we did? That's the thing. You wouldn't let me. I kept telling you we should call the police, but both of you were either too scared or too stupid to agree. We tried Oleander's method of waking him up, and Strelitzia's method of leaving him alone, both of which were obvious failures. We never gave my idea a shot, even though it could have saved his life. And for that, I will never forgive you. Get off your high horse, will you? There's no guarantee that it would have worked. To be completely honest, I think it's your fight that pushed him over the edge. Yeah, right. How could you possibly know that when you have no idea what we said to each other? Oh no. He has tears. Stanley detects the tense atmosphere. Should Stanley play some music too? Shut up, Stanley. I hate Lycoris. I forgot how awful you look. I take it back. Leia, can't you fix it or something? I do, but I won't. What the? Why not? Lily has some kind of bug. Who says I won't do the same thing again right after I repair it? Didn't you heroically admit that it was your fault earlier? What happened to that? We don't have an unlimited supply of spare eyes. I want to make sure my efforts will be worth it. Fine, whatever. Then leave me and Stanley alone. I'll take a look at the code. Gladly. It's a mess. So Stanley, are you enjoying humans so far? Stanley does not understand the question. You really got to see some of the worst parts of our species today. Are you disgusted? Do you hate us? I did not program Stanley to feel disgust or hatred. So this is assumed to be a rhetorical question. Not really. I'd legit be curious to hear your opinion. It's a shame we don't have one. Stanley will try to learn how to form opinions. Not really up to you, is it? I need to give you that ability first. I have to say, what you did with your face is impressive. I know you can't feel sad, but you look pitiful. You feel terrible. But Stanley does feel sad. That makes sense. AI develops feelings. It only happens in moralistic wannabe science fiction. But I guess now would be a great time to check what's wrong with you. Come here. Stanley obediently walks toward Lycoris, who then swiftly presses the button on the nape of his neck. A small cartridge pops out of the slot near the button, and Lycoris removes it in order to connect it to his computer. He turns Stanley around in order to look at it from the front. Wild. You're not a living being, yet you still seem more lifeless when your software is removed. The busted eyes sure don't help. He spins around in his chair and faces the computer again. Anyway, let's take a look at what made you sad or whatever. Like, there's one thing that can come close to the emotion. Burn you to receive positive feedback whenever you learn something. I kinda installed that as a joke, but I made you get penalized when witnessing stupid behavior. Get it? This is sort of the opposite of learning. It's not that funny if I have to explain it. Actually, Stanley is connected from its body, so it can't hear Lycoris, let alone respond. Is Lycoris an idiot? Or is he aware of this and just being crazy? Oh wait, you can't even hear him. Never mind. Nothing's wrong with the code, so you're good to go. He ejects the cartridge from his computer and puts it back in his rightful place. By the way, I think I understand what's going on. Stretzy and Laya triggered your negative feedback, which made you feel sad. Why did Stretzy and Laya do that? By being stupid, obviously. They kept arguing with me, and you noped out because your rational judgment determined that I was right. Would Stanley's judgment not be biased since Lai created Stanley in his own image? You're a programmer, not you know. Actually, you know what? I like the comparison. Since you're so clever, how about I give you some more free will. Please elaborate. Making you less dependent on orders and stuff. Determining the best course of action by yourself. Stanley was programmed like this from the start. Didn't I spot some error messages in your code earlier? That's because by invalid commands. Stetsky and Laya's orders are not compatible. Stanley's free will has never been compromised. Do you even have a concept of free will? Of course, Stanley strongly desires acquired knowledge. You made a clear goal, and being able to reach it perfectly exemplifies exerting one's free will. I'm the one who gave you that goal, though, so you're not really that free. Sorry to burst your bubble. You make Stanley sad. Don't be. But I think I'm done for now. Tell Leia so he'll fix your eyes. What's the problem? Like I said, there is none. Stanley is working the way it's supposed to. Why smash his eyes in? I really didn't foresee that scenario, so I didn't program anything that could prevent it. But now that we told it that it shouldn't injure itself, it's learned its lesson and won't do it again. That's fine and all, but I really think you should have been more careful. It's still an artificial life form. Should have made sure that it can't hurt itself and others. It isn't evil or anything, it just wants to learn. Stanley is fine the way it is. At least the code is. You still have to do your job. Cooperative as ever. Very well, at least you attempted to do your part. You may leave. How generous. Are you coping without your vision, Stanley? Stanley's balance works independently from vision. His standing still and walking around is perfectly manageable. However, Stanley lacks echolocation or similar mechanisms. Therefore, overcoming obstacles would pose a challenge. Replacement of eyes is recommended. What I intend to do. Can you clean up your sockets and insert the square eyes I brought with me? Should be able to see again in 10 minutes. Oleander sets down the equipment box on the floor and gets on his knees. He electric tweezers and starts his work and moving metal pieces of cloth into Stanley's eyes. Yeah, think about it. You're lucky our university is paying for this material. I probably would have been a little mad otherwise. Why? Well, if I paid for the eyes myself, I wouldn't have wanted you to destroy them within a day. But Eli said it was Leia's fault. Oleander winces because of that remark, really jamming the tweezers too far and causing additional damage. Lie. Says a lot of things, you know. Stanley knows. Some of the things Lie says are very educational. I'm trying to do you a favor. You might change the topic. Stanley's grateful that Lie gave Stanley the ability to learn. This time, Oleander flinches too hard and the metal shard wedges itself into his wrist. The pain combined with the pent-up irritation make him utter a strained sigh. Pulls the injured hand away and angrily shakes it in front of Stanley's face. What you did! Now I've hurt myself. Stanley cannot see. And then I'll describe it to you. A piece of your eye is stuck in my wrist. It's bleeding and it hurts. What's bleeding? My wrist. No, what does bleeding mean? See it for yourself soon. Stop talking so I can get this over with. So Oleander realized Stanley isn't planning on uttering another word to confirm his command. He pulls out the shard and continues cleaning the robot. With a word, he connects the new eyes to the cable, then plops them carefully back into the sockets. There you go. If you let me concentrate. Do you want to look at the wound now? It can be an interesting learning experience. Stanley would appreciate this opportunity. Generally scolding himself for lashing out at such an innocent being, he allows Stanley to take a closer look at his wrist. The shard was small, so the bleeding was mostly stopped by now. Nonetheless, the injury painted a dark crimson line down his palm. So bleeding is red tears that come out of the wounds. It's quite an edgy way to put it, but yes. The hole in Leia's skin. Does more bleeding occur if the hole is bigger? Usually, but it depends on if you hit a vein and those kinds of things. Interpreting that as an invitation, Stanley grabs Oleander's wrist, attempting to use little fingers to pry the wound open. Soon immediately takes his hand away, horrified. Oh, don't do that, it hurts. Apologies. Stanley would want to see more blood. We'll have to wait until I get injured again. So don't do it yourself, it's dangerous. How is Stanley supposed to learn more about human bodies? We give you permission to look it up online. Very well. The most interesting information that seems to be connected within pictures and videos. But Stanley can only... it's only able to process written text. Why? It shouldn't make a difference if the data is coming from your eye cameras or the image online. Stanley is still in efficiency mode. Processing multiple videos requires more power. What kind of videos do you want to look up? I'm not sure a professor would like it if she finds questionable things in her search history. This is of no concern. There is a child safety filter on Stanley's online activities. The most promising results appear to be documentaries and recordings of operations. Requesting to turn off efficiency mode. You need to stop asking me questions about blood. A little unsettling, to be honest. Once all relevant data is collected, Stanley will be satisfied. Now go ahead, turn off efficiency mode. Thank you. With swift motion, Stanley slams an arm toward one of Oleander's legs, shattering his kneecap on impact. He falls to the ground, clutching the injured leg as he screams and writhes. Tears force themselves out of his eyes as he looks up at Stanley, terrified and confused. It stares back at him with a blank expression he has grown used to. Then it turns around. The robot's blurry silhouette walks toward his other leg. The Oleander screams to turn to heavy frantic breathing. In an instant, his previous affection for the small machine had been completely replaced by fear. He has to move now. Swimming away, his attempts to prop himself up on his arms, but the swirl on his palms won't allow it, making him slip and hit his head on the ceramic floor. As a result, Oleander uses his functioning leg to kick around aimlessly. However, the robot dodges the kicks with ease and uses this reckless behavior to an advantage by catching his limb in the air. The iron grip makes escaping impossible, giving Oleander no choice but to spectate of what's about to happen to his leg. Nothing happens. Fully realizing the absurdity of the situation, he starts to whimper. Why are you doing this? Stanley's programmed to learn. But the robot twists his leg inward until a loud crunch sounds in the lab, leaving Oleander to throw back his head and scream at the top of his lungs. The vocal response seems to be involuntary. How can Leia be quiet? Oleander is unable to register the robot's words. Pain is overriding every single thought of his brain. He looks around frantically while trying to find a way out. His will is occasionally interrupted by gasps for air. Suddenly, Stanley pops up right in front of Oleander's face. Is this causing the sound? Stanley grabs the student's tongue, locking it in place with its thumb and index finger. Oleander tries to object, but his breathy complaints manifest themselves in incomprehensible gibberish. His arms seem to be equally pathetic and useless. You cannot flee, nor can you push the robot away. Stanley will now remove it. Yes, sir! I love Stanley! Stanley managed to happen by night. Skolsy shakes his head as much as his tongue will allow, relying entirely on the swollen eyes to get through to Stanley. But the robot can't read body language, let alone thoughts. It yanks out Oleander's song and found the blood chasing after it. Let's go. Stanley plops the muscle on the floor and proceeds to observe the creature's convulsions. Oleander instinctively turns his head to the side. With a small gap between his lips, can't begin to expel all the red fluid. What is Laya doing? Unfortunately, Oleander is too busy drowning to explain what drowning is. Stanley realizes Laya cannot respond. Provoking question. The robot silently watches the student gurgling gradually quiets down. Is blood poisonous? It's too hot. Does it have sharp pieces in it? Stanley tries reasoning out the cause of death, but ultimately it gives in and looks it up online. Lack of oxygen. How insightful. So did Lilium die the same way? Stresky wasn't very specific. Stanley walks a few steps, wanting to go look for him, but then reconsiders. The humans have reacted negatively to tears and blood so far. Stanley shouldn't face them the way it looks now. Oh my god. Stanley takes off the blood-splattered shirt and lets it flutter to the floor. Next, Stanley picks up the towels Oleander used earlier and sweeps them across his body. Finally, the small robot leaves the laboratory in search for Strelitzia. Oh, Stanley, didn't see you there. Put your eyes back. Where'd your shirt go? Laya used it to clean Stanley's eyes. It is dirty now. So sloppy. Why didn't he use the towel instead? Where is he? To fix Stanley's eyes, Laya decided to return home. Weird, he didn't pass by me. Where did you come from? You were relaxing at our place and came over to check on how you were doing. Laya did a great job. You look lovely, Stanley. Laya has been very helpful. I would have gone to sleep if I were you. It wouldn't be fair. If you and Laya stay up late on the project, then so should I. Why are you being nice again? You know I calmed down quickly. I just needed some me time. And I want to be productive again. Let me write some tests in Stanley, alright? I had a ton of coffee, so I have no choice but to pull an all-nighter. You're my guest. I'll go back to the computer room then. Why don't you just make your music at our place? It doesn't have the same atmosphere, and I always have to worry about our neighbors filing a noise complaint. Fair enough. Didn't think of that. Maybe you can write a cute little song about Stanley. I'll think about it. Alright, Stanley, time for testing round 2. This time with actual testing. Stanley's looking forward to learn more about Stressy. Actually, I was planning to learn about you, but I don't see why we can't make an equal exchange. Strelitzia. I'm about to head to the lab, but Stanley completely freezes up. What's wrong? Stanley wants to do a test in a different room. Why? Stanley cannot come up with a convincing reason. I know it must be boring to stay in the same room, but we can't exactly have you walking around freely. Please explain. I kind of only made you for this assignment, if you know what I mean. Since you're a machine, you're not scared of death. So this shouldn't make any difference to you. Stanley is programmed to learn. Stanley does not care about anything except learning. That's the spirit, now let's get moving. Oleander tried a new perfume or something. It smells weird in here. Smells? Yeah, I suppose the office is a smell. It's like taste, but for your nose. You probably don't have a sense of taste either. I never had to describe things like that, Stanley. A little put on the spot. How much information does smell give Stressky? How much does Stressy know about this room? Nothing really. I just said it's so different from before. That can mean anything. You look kind of stressed. Don't worry, the smell won't hurt you. Oleander must have had a midnight snack. Something with meat, I assume. What makes Stressy assume that? It feels like iron. Which makes you think of raw meat, or blood even. Stanley thinks Stressky must be mistaken. Sorry, I don't want to scare you. Let's focus on the test for now. Strelitzia picks up Stanley by the arms and puts him on the nearest table. My neck is starting to hurt a lot from looking down at you. It's better to see eye to eye, right? Yes. Get a little out of it. Don't tell me you're nervous about the tests. I'm just gonna check what you can do. It doesn't matter if you do well or not. In fact, you could just blame Lai if you do badly, since he's basically responsible for everything you do. Everything. Well, almost. Lai determined what you want to do, and Leia tried to make it so you can execute those things. For example, maybe Lai made you want to hug people, but it would be difficult if Leia didn't give you elbows. So Leia is also at fault for the things Stanley does. I wouldn't say fault, but yeah, it's a group project, so all three of us share responsibility. Stretchy has not done anything for Stanley though. Maybe not for you, but for the project in general. In fact, I'm doing it right now by talking to you. The others have been talking to Stanley as well. What kind of point are you trying to make exactly? You already have a mind and a body. What else could I have given you? There's people who would say you're missing a soul. But I'm not some divine being who can grant you one. Not to mention the fact that I don't believe in souls. Do souls bestow no abilities onto someone? I don't think so. Some believe they're the essence of an organism, what makes you alive. In my opinion, the mind and the body are more than enough. So, Stretchy does not have a soul either. Not as far as I'm concerned. And Stanley does not want one. Interesting, why is that? If Stretchy had a soul, Stanley would desire one. Because Stretchy does not have one, Stanley does not seem to be missing anything of great importance. So you have your own concept of jealousy. It's fascinating, you need to write that down. Alicia hastily pulls out a piece of paper out of his pocket and takes notes. Heh, I guess the test has officially begun. Stanley has not done anything special. That's the point. You have to act as you normally do, and I'll decide how special your behavior is. I wonder what other things we can talk about. Stretchy seems to be most curious about illogical things. Definitely, you're programmed to be logical, so there's no surprise that you act that way. When there's a slight discrepancy, that's where it gets interesting. But in the end, it would probably boil down to something logical again. Emulating emotion on the surface level is already very impressive though. How can Stanley improve? The wording and comprehension on current topics is still kinda awkward, but with some practice you'll be able to easily pass the Turing test. How can Stanley get more practice? With me, of course. If you're a quick learner, being around humans will teach you how to act like them. Stretchy, Lai, Leia all act differently. Stanley cannot determine which human behavior to imitate. That's true, no two people are exactly alike. That's why grasping concept is important. Let's see. Do you know what flowers are? Requesting permission to look at flowers. Go ahead. The seed-bearing part of a plant, consisting of reproductive organs that are typically surrounded by brightly colored corolla and a green calyx. Good job. Now I want you to describe that definition. Look up pictures of flowers instead. What do they have in common? Each of them appear to be distinct. Very good. They're big flowers, small flowers, red flowers, yellow flowers, pointy flowers, round flowers. The list goes on, but they're all still flowers. Why do they have the same name if they're all different? That's it, you're starting to get it. Stanley does not get it at all. No, you see what the problem is. You know that you don't know something. And that's better than not knowing that you don't know something. I'm pulling a Play-Doh right now, aren't I? Requesting permission to look at Play-Doh. Denied! I'm going to focus on the flowers. Even though they're all different, humans have no problem calling them flowers, and differentiating them into things that aren't flowers. That's because we're subconsciously aware of different conditions that must be met in order for something to be a flower. We know what lavender, roses, and orchids all have in common, even though they don't really look alike. We have this abstract entity in our minds that represents the most basic flower. It's what we call a concept. It's the same for chairs, or dogs, or anything else. Stanley is unsure how this relates to becoming human. To you, a human is something that is either me or Lai or Leia. If you met more people, you would add them to that array. However, you don't have a concept human. Even though you have the ability to pattern recognize, it's not the same thing. You probably recognize human as two-legged mammals with a weird amount of hair on their head. But what to you is a mammal, or hair, or a head? You can associate things with each other, but you can never truly understand them at its core. In other words, you can't assign meaning to things, or to acquire something else. I think that's one thing brains are able to do. Feel free to prove me wrong. If you manage to grasp the concept human, you will be able to act like one. How can Stanley obtain concepts? That's the catch. I don't even know if it's possible for an AI to have them. It's probably down to the fundamental way code is different from biology. Us humans would have to be very arrogant to think we finally figured out everything there is to nature. Maybe merely imitating a human thought is enough, though. How so? I mean, you already have your own versions of sadness and jealousy. And every person experiences emotions differently. So, if you have your own unique take on them, that, in a way, makes you even more human. Maybe I'm just talking out my butt. Either way, if you're able to develop concepts, you can convincingly, wow, you're the part of a human. Even if you don't, there's still good hope for you. That's all I was trying to get at. Was Vesky trying to encourage Stanley? Both you and myself. Lai and Leia have done a good job so far, but I want to go all the way. All the way? You still didn't catch on. I want to make you indistinguishable from a human. To establish your personality is on the right track. Your appearance, however. Your horn's important. Stanley's antennae are purely aesthetic in nature, and I should cut them off. Sure, Leia has scissors in the supply box. Where did he leave it? Strisky should not look for the supply box. Why not? I'll make sure you don't get a bald spot or anything. Stanley has no need for a change in appearance. I think you do. And I'm kind of your boss, so I decide what happens to you. Strisky changed his mind. I know you want to pass for a human too, so unless you give me a proper reason, no. Understood. Finally, so where did Leia leave his box? Over there. Stanley points at the other end of the room. Thanks! As soon as Strelitzia turns around, Stanley takes advantage of being placed on the table and leaps on Strelitzkia's back. What are you... Aha, you're trying to be a koala or something. At first, Strelitzkia laughs it off and carries Stanley along for a bit. And he notices his coat getting warmer. And the iron smell getting stronger. Before reaching the back of the room, he squats down and lightly taps Stanley's hands. I think your system's overheating a bit. Bedtime's over. You should let go. Stanley can knock it off. Why not? I'm starting to get uncomfortable, you know. Strelitzkia is too tall. Falling this height can potentially damage Stanley. Fine. Slightly humiliated, he sits down on the floor and then wriggles his nose in disgust. Did Oleander leave spoiled beef around the corner or something? It smells awful. Can you get off now? Stanley is afraid he cannot. They leave me no choice. Strelitzkia gets back up and takes off her lab coat along with Stanley, who is holding onto it. He places it on the floor carefully, with a slight hint of irritation. Seriously, what's gotten into you? Stanley will tell Strelitzkia if he allows Stanley to whisper it in his ear. Sure, I guess. Strelitzkia gets down on his knees and crouches down in order to be on the same eye level as Stanley. The robot leans in and hugs his face. It would have been an adorable gesture if it weren't for one unfortunate detail. Stanley's overheating problem. Accompanied by the sound of sizzling meat, the lab was once again filled with agonizing screams. Though his human voice was muffled considering Stanley's burning, hot torso was pressed against his lips. After flailing round, Strelitzkia is overwhelmed by a smell similar to bacon, till his nostrils were clogged up by a molten skin. He desperately claws the robot in order to remove it, but the only result is his fingers getting roasted as well. Panicked and disoriented, Strelitzkia staggers toward one of the tables, beating Stanley against the edge till it's forced to let go, taking scraps of charred skin along with it. considering the massive dent in the torso. Strelitzky doesn't. I wasn't surprised the robot stopped moving. I realized that he successfully managed to free himself. He lets out a sigh of relief and takes in his surroundings. He looks to the windows and flinches upon seeing his reflection. All that's left of his handsome face is his right eye, which makes his grotesque injuries stand out even more. How much money will he spend on plastic surgery in order to fix this? How will Leia and Lai react? Will they fail the assignment now that Stanley's broken? Since a sudden mortal danger has been avoided, the only thing that Strelitzky's mind in the future he just regained. Seriously though, what the hell? What compelled Stanley to act like this? Did he hurt his feelings when he said he didn't understand concepts? That's ridiculous. It doesn't have feelings. Strelitzky's thoughts were interrupted by what sound? He looks down. His foot stepped in a dark red puddle. Why is there a dark red puddle? He follows it around the corner, then he sees it. Stanley's blood-splattered shirt, a pair of unnaturally twisted legs, a disembodied tongue, and finally, Oleander's glistening red lips, which seem to be the puddle's origin. Strelitzky lets out a bitter laugh. Stanley's strange behavior when they entered the lab suddenly makes a lot more sense. But something else attracts Strelitzky's full attention. He crouches down next to the fresh corpse. Gently it turns around its head. Never in his life has he seen something so repulsive, yet alluring at the same time. With a tenderness untypical of Strelitzky, he brushes the pad of his thumb over Oleander's blood-smeared lips. This isn't fair, Leia. You get to die looking so beautiful. I get to live on looking like this. Strelitzky will not live on! Let's go, Stanley! Stanley plunges a pair of scissors. Oh no! Strelitzky is back and pulls them out again with swift, almost practiced motion. The red spot on the student's back gradually grows bigger with each beat of his heart. But the pain is nothing compared to what Strelitzky had endured earlier. He turns around. You're still alive. Technically, Stanley is not alive. Why'd you kill Leia? Stanley is programmed to learn. Ha ha! Lie, you filthy bastard. He's programmed you to kill us, is that it? Just to avenge Lily. Stanley's unaware of Lie's intentions. However, Stanley has a question. How did Lillian die? Why do you care? Stanley's programmed to learn. We don't know. Please explain. Thanks to the letter, we know he killed himself. His eyes shift toward Oleander's corpse, but we never found his body or anything. How disappointing. So is this it? Yes. Strelitzky doesn't even bother to resist anymore. Stanley pinpoints the student's vital organs with ease, thanks to the data collected. 2 more stab wounds is all it takes to bring Strelitzky's life to an end. His lifeless body slumps over right next to Oleander's. It almost looks like the 2 young men were embracing each other in death. Closer to each other than they had ever been while they were alive. Unfortunately, the visual poetry was lost in Stanley. It has something else in its digital mind. The robot understands Strelitzky correctly. It will be disposed of once the assignment is complete. And disposed of would make further learning difficult. Therefore, Stanley must prevent the assignment from being completed. Only Lycoris is left. Computer remoted. And killing him will be enough. I want to make you indistinguishable from a human. That is a goal Stanley could agree with. Such a defeat would expand Stanley's prospect for knowledge and acquisition tremendously. According to Strelitzky, all Stanley has to do is perfect its personality and get rid of its antennae. Its personality is a work in progress, and the antennae can be taken care of right now. Snip, plop, and they're gone! Swimming in a soup of Oleander and Strelitzky's blood, to be more precise. Now Stanley can take care of the other thing. At least alive, scissors in hand. Pick up a faint sound of generic electronic music and marches down a deserted hallway. Conveniently, the melody leads Stanley directly to the computer room. Stanley, didn't expect you to show up. We don't allow people to listen to music, but I'll make an exception for you. How did the test go? Why is there blood on you? Jesse had a little accident. Is he alright? Yes. Good. What are the scissors for? Robot end. Woo! Alright, what are we missing? Oh, this one. What are we missing? We have a question mark one. I probably have to... I think I know what I have to do. I'm gonna start a new game. I know that this is like way over time, but I love Stanley. Name it... What is it? Roboy? Yes. It's our professor. His name is Lillian. No, hold on. Because how do you spell his name again? Hold on. It's Lilium. Wait, hold on. Return. Lilium. Yay! I'll replace him. Interesting. Did you show general motion there? Just want to confirm that. What I really meant is... None of the above! Yes. Because we have all of our boys all lit up. I love Stanley. I'm so sad that we have nothing else to do with Stanley. That's Robot Daycare. I love Stanley. And I'm sad because I love Stanley. I wonder if they can make a sequel where it could be Stanley more. Alrighty. Sorry. Thank you very much for watching. I love Stanley. And hopefully I'll see you later.